Hello, this is Gary Marr of Glendale Community College. This screencast is for my CIS166AA JavaScript 1 class, and I do apologize for leaving class on Wednesday. Wasn't feeling well at all. Feel a little better today, but I'm still not exactly 100%. But what I thought I could do is go through at least my solutions again for assignments 4, 5, and 6, since that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about yesterday. Now, I will add, I continue to refine these programs, and you're going to find the same thing happens to yours. The lecture we did on Monday, even though it wasn't terribly, I'd say, awe-inspiring, testing and debug is a necessary part of page and program development. I continue to find little things that I need to tweak or change. In fact, I just found a minute ago when I ran this in test and that I probably have a rounding error someplace in this program where I'm probably picking up a 3-digit decimal, much like was happening on Monday with my cart example in class. So let's start this one. This is assignment 4, and you can see from the top of my browser I have all 3 assignments loaded in the background here. I also have running the code, so we may look at that in a second. Assignment 4, the main deliverable was to add some additional business rules regarding cost, cold and small, medium, large, extra large, and then also the calculator needed to keep a running total, which I then put down in grand total. Most of the other requirements of picking up from input boxes and writing out boxes is from previous assignments. So let's try one here. Let's put some information in, okay? And we'll go with $10, and we'll put maybe Glendale in there, and we'll go with an extra large coffee, and cold is fine. Now let's make sure it's selected, and let's calculate. It comes out to 11.45 in total. If I hit calculation again, it should roughly double. Roughly it did. Looks like there's a rounding error. I've lost a penny there somewhere. So what I would do now is go in with a debugger and probably line by line figure out where I was getting that 3 decimal precision number and convert it to a 2, much like I had to do in the my cart example I went over on Monday and also started class with on Wednesday. As far as the code itself goes, if I go back over here to Notepad and look at assignment 4, I'm not sure there's much here that I can probably go through line by line other than give you the answer. I still want you guys to figure out what's going on, but you can see a function expression there, which I believe was one of the requirements. I think I wanted to have a function with a couple of parameters. There's that. That's a named function. As far as the rest of it goes, I'm picking some stuff up from different fields using getElementById. I had not yet used the $sign as an anonymous function call. And then down here you can see where I do some accumulations. I do first of all some summary of what the total loss is, and then I accumulate in a variable called grand total, and then I spit grand total out on my screen. So that's kind of the long and short of it of that one. I think this one should be pretty straightforward at this point, unless you're confused on one of the deliverables for the assignment. So let's go on to the next one. This would be assignment number 5, which I think is where most of you guys are now. On this assignment, basically you're going to see the same kinds of things happening with the screen. Not much difference there, but what I did over here in the editor is I put at the very top of the JavaScript the deliverables for this. And basically what this one is asking is for a parallel array. One array is going to have the coffee name in it. The other array is going to have the actual dollar amount. You can see my arrays being formed up here. One has the product names. One has the costs. I will tell you that this also makes use of the pull down, which in fact is also an array. I mean, when you pull down, you select a value that has subscriptions like arrays do, and I'm taking those values and using them down here when I make my call to a function called coffee price. Okay, if you look here, you'll see where I pick up from the prices array, the various prices. You'll also see at the end down here, I actually don't use the prods array at all. It basically is a duplicate of what's loaded in my select tag on the HTML. So instead of using really 2 arrays, technically what I'm doing is using an array called prices in conjunction with an array that's inside as options in that select tag over here in assignment 5. So if I go to assignment 5, there are my values, there are my coffees. Actually, looks like I might be missing 1 or 2 because I added Americano and I think one other brand. But these values here, 0, 1, 2, and 3, correspond to the same subscripts that exist in 0, 1, 2, 3. I guess that's they're all there. I didn't add Americano until assignment 5. So anyways, that's how that would work. I don't think from a run standpoint it should look much different than what you saw before. And again, the only real difference here is I'm pulling from the parallel array, so I'm sending it some information up here on the prices function, coffee price function. I'm giving it the order, or whether it's 0, 1, 2, or 3, and that's how I'm picking up the prices. All right, let's move to assignment 6, which probably is premature because that's not new for a bit. But let me show you what I've done with that. I initially showed you an assignment version that what would happen is if you selected a coffee order of, well, let's refresh this from the start, a coffee order of latte, a little menu would spring up here next to it asking you what flavor of latte. You can do that one, but I think the one I like better, and I'll thank Rebecca for this, is if I do this one again, I'm going to select, let's say, decaf. It's going to be a P. And it's going to be a hot and a, let's say, large. When I hit the calculate button here, again, it does my calculations, but also see another button here called receipt. If I click on that, it's going to use DOM calls to create new elements, specifically a text area that will now populate with information on the receipt. All right. Now, the tricky part of this is that as soon as I click the receipt, I can do no more processing. I haven't really written it to clear the receipt. So for this first one, I just had one purchase and I add receipt, so that's it. If I run it again here, let me put a couple of them in here, make sure this works okay. It worked yesterday, but then again, that was yesterday. So let me do this, and I'm just randomly picking some things. Let's do a calculate. Let's change this to regular, make it extra large. Let's calculate that. Now when I hit the receipt, I should show 2 items, and I should show the total below. And so what's happening here, and I'll go back to the code to show you that, is that in my code, let's go to the HTML first, I have created a new button called receipt, which is down here. It's going to call a function called receipt in my JavaScript. And what the receipt in JavaScript will do, we'll find it here in a second. It's going to do a series of calls to create a new element called text area. Text area is basically a text box that allows multiple lines. It's going to set the ID of it to be receipt out. It's going to set the rows and columns, which are attributes of that particular control. It's then going to place it, as per this code, behind the buttons. I believe that's where it shows. Let me just check. I think it's behind the buttons. Oh, no, I'm sorry, before the buttons. Okay, before the buttons. And then finally, I'm going to turn the calculate and the receipt button off, because if I don't turn it off, someone will hit calculate, but the receipt will be wrong. And if I hit the receipt button again, it duplicates it, so I now have 2 receipts, which is not really the desired effect. Probably with some more coding, I could clean that up so it works where, at any point in time, you could get a new total, a new receipt, make changes in your order, etc. But it's not that robust yet. Pretty much the rest of the program is the same as it was before. If you were watching me when I went over the latte program, I pulled that out of here, and there's a couple things still left that I haven't changed. In fact, one of these down the bottom. This is from the latte program. I'm not using it. This is essentially just an empty function now. But that's fine. I mean, I left it there in case I wanted to go back and try it again or show you guys in class again. That really constitutes all 3 of the assignments as I see them. But again, if you'd like to try something different, please do. The only thing I'm concerned about, and I put this at the top here also, is that the deliverables include a DOM map, which you can use, which you can create using the tools I showed you yesterday. Either a pull-down list for lattes or the receipt. I think the receipt's easier to input. The pull-down latte thing can get a little clunky based on the positioning on the screen, but either one is fine. And this is again to build a more robust page that is more like a standalone program. Hard to believe that some of these are actually running over the wire. Well, that's it for now. See you guys on Monday. Sorry I missed Wednesday. Bye.